Recently, I got to interview 3 women who are part of a group chat full of women who have been played by Warden Bates. Now, Warden Bates is 22 years old, and he is the 13th of 19 children of reality TV stars Gil and Kelly Jo Bates. Gil is on the board of the IBLP, an alleged cult, and is a pastor. Growing up, the Bates children had to remain pure and pursue courtship. Many of them were not even allowed to kiss until the altar. What I'm about to share about Warden goes against everything his father, Gil Bates, preaches to the world. Over 10 girls played by Warden Bates have created a group chat to compare their stories. While I'm not in this group chat, 3 women who have gone out with him have given me insights into Warden's secrets. These 3 women have allowed me to share their experiences with Warden anonymously. I have confirmed each of them actually dated Warden. However, these stories come from their perspective and must be considered alleged and taken with a grain of salt. Please get ready for some major Bates tea. Let's jump into our timeline. I interviewed all of these women and I'm going to keep them all anonymous. I am going to give them fake names. The first girl, who I'll call Ava, dated Warden in 2024. The other 2 girls, one I'll call Bella and the other Carrie, dated him during the same period of time in late 2025 and early 2026. These are all, again, made-up names I have created so I can tell the story in a less confusing fashion. Let's start with Ava's story. She was living about 20 minutes from the Bates family in the Knoxville area. In October of 2024, Ava and Warden followed each other on Instagram. He sent her a DM and they quickly began Snapchatting and FaceTiming. A week after connecting on social media, they were able to meet up in person and go to Dollywood nearby. She said he immediately asked how many kids she wanted once they got in person. He shared he personally wants 8. It seems like with a lot of these women, he very quickly mentions the prospect of children and marriage. Over the next several weeks, he and Ava hung out several times in person. She met a few of his siblings, but was never allowed to go over to the big house or meet his father, Gil Bates. In mid-November of 2024, he invited her to come hang out at Carlin's house, his sister Carlin, while Carlin and her family were not home. Ava claims they ended up having sex in one of Carlin's. Now, of course, that comes directly from the girl claiming to have dated Warden and should be taken with a grain of salt. During their brief period of dating, Warden allegedly asked her how she felt about interracial marriage. She didn't have many thoughts on it, and Warden apparently shared his family was against interracial marriage. I don't know what he meant by, quote, his family, but he could have meant his parents or his siblings in general. I'm really not sure. In December of 2024, Ava says she helped dog sit Katie's dog at her apartment at the time with Warden, and he ghosted her with no explanation on December 23rd, 2024. Of course, that is no crime. Who among us has not ghosted someone? But just very interesting for what the family purports to believe. Before we get into the 2 girls who dated him at the same time in 2025, I do want to mention that all 3 girls I talked to claim there's another girl in their group chat that dated Warden for 3 months in 2025. She has 2 children and was able to meet several of the siblings, which I find extremely interesting. And I wonder how they reacted to that, or they even knew that this woman had 2 children. Now let's move on to late 2025 when Bella and Carrie both began seeing Warden. Bella had known the Bates family since childhood, and though she was not in the IBLP, she was from a conservative Baptist family and grew up 4 hours approximately from Warden. In late 2025, he followed her on Instagram and they began speaking via Snapchat. During the same time, a girl named Carrie added Warden on Quick Add because she thought his photos were cute. She was not aware he was on TV and did not know who the Bates family were. Carrie quickly began FaceTiming him regularly. He asked her to quickly come and meet him and stay at one of his sister's homes while they were away, which she politely declined. He tells Carrie he loves her and wants to marry her before ever meeting. He also exchanged sex with Carrie. He was also very flirty with Bella during the same time. During Christmas time, he tells Bella he wants to come visit her over Christmas, but then he cancels. He claims he's going to ski in Arkansas, which I actually don't even know if you can ski in Arkansas. That's just what he said to give an excuse. Unbeknownst to Bella, he instead books an Airbnb to visit Carrie around 8 hours in the other direction from December 27th to June 2nd. On December 27th, Warden heads to see Carrie in her hometown. He books the Airbnb out until January 2nd, but we will get to that part of the story soon. He ends up leaving early. Carrie said he was very physical once arriving to the Airbnb, which she did not mind. It was completely consensual. He was very nice and even referred to her sister as his future sister-in-law, so still going with the I love you, I want to marry you type stuff. The next day, Carrie claims he took her virginity and then they went to attend a church service. After church, they had lunch with her dad, and he drops for the first time that he was on a TV show. He shares one of his brothers recently got engaged and that he didn't particularly like one of his sisters who lives in Florida, which we can assume is Erin, or his brother Lawson's wife. He said he just finds her annoying. Of course, you know I had to ask these girls about the siblings, if he mentioned anything with the sibling dynamics and whatever, but that's pretty much all I got. So at the lunch, it was getting ready to snow, so they went back to the Airbnb to watch a movie. He asked her about her relationship history. He shares he had one girlfriend and that they just grew apart, which I would assume would be Taylor Maples, his only public girlfriend that he's ever had. He says he's also deep in thought at that point and doesn't want to do anything else physical in case they don't work out, which Carrie said upset her because they had already done some physical things. On December 29th, just a few days into this Airbnb trip, Warden says his mother called and wants him home for his father's birthday party. His birthday is January 1st, but it seemed like that they had the party a little bit early. Carrie confronts him and says he's been acting weird after they had sex, and he says he just needs to leave because of his dad and reassures her and even gives her a kiss goodbye. He also says that he wants her to come to Tennessee in 10 days. After leaving the Airbnb, he texts her once more and then ghosts her completely. Of course, that is no crime, just very interesting. Let's go back to our girl Bella because Warden is still chatting over the phone with her at this point. On December 30th, after Warden has already left the Airbnb with Carrie and has gone back to Tennessee, Warden calls her to tell her he is going through a lot because his brother-in-law cheated on his sister, which of course would be Katie and Travis. Warden says his brother-in-law confessed because his sister Katie told him that they were expecting their third child together. And I guess he felt guilty and wanted to tell her that he had been having an affair. She does confirm that it is the person that everyone on Reddit assumes it is. And that was pretty much all the detail that Warden gave her. Apparently, he just called to be like, oh, I'm going through a lot or something like that, and gave her a little context as to what he was dealing with. He also gives Bella a little insight into the timeline. Apparently, Katie had found out she was pregnant a couple of weeks prior, so we can assume that perhaps Travis confessed about the affair in mid-December, so December 15th or so. Then on January 7th, Warden goes out to see Bella and her family. He stays until the 9th. While in the car with Bella's father, Warden got a call from a female and he acted really odd about it. But that was pretty much all the detail Bella gave me about their trip. After returning home, Bella and Warden continued to chat until January 30th when Warden ghosted her. So it looks like the guy has an MO. One thing we can say is he's super consistent. So now we have over 10 girls Warden has dated in a group chat comparing their odd experiences with him. He has told these girls different stories at times. Depending on their personal beliefs, he will tell some that he's sober and others that he loves to drink. He will tell some he is a devout Christian and others that he just attends church to support his father, who's a pastor. Several of these girls have reached out to Kelly Jo via iMessage to expose Warden, but she has not responded to any of them except for to one girl. She told this girl that her experience did not sound like something her son would do. Thank you to the 3 girls who spilled their tea for me. Again, every claim in this video is alleged and should be taken with a grain of salt. And I really appreciate you guys watching this video. Again, what Warden did is certainly not a crime and certainly not that uncommon, but definitely uncommon in these circles. And it just kind of goes against everything the family purports to believe. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week.
Just it's really fake and gay. And I am actually an expert on all matters that are fake and gay.